We are 1 hour and 33 minutes into the syndicated radio broadcast. I'm here live Monday through Friday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Eastern. We come back with an abbreviated broadcast live 4 to 6 p.m. every Sunday Central Standard Time. That's 5 to 7 Eastern. The websites are prisonplanet.tv, prisonplanet.com, and infowars.com. Our backup sites that are also updated daily and many times have their own exclusive content are Infowars.net and JonesReport.com. All right, Paul Joseph Watson joins us for the next 10 minutes, and then I'm going to get into the incredible banking takeover that's being billed as a way to get the rich bankers, a way to bring those bankers that stole all that money to justice. The very banks that did that are in the regulatory positions in Europe, England, the U.S., and Canada, and they literally wrote the legislation at the UN level and at the national level. This is the most important info out there economically. And the very same banking group funds the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, and others, and are calling anyone a violent terrorist or a racist that criticizes the takeover of health care, the auto industry, the greenhouse gas taxes, VAT. That's coming up after Paul Joseph Watson leaves us. This article is up on prisonplanet.com today. ADL calls for major law enforcement operation to deal with Obamacare critics. And here in my hand is the actual ADL 20-page report. I didn't have time to count it up this morning when Watson first alerted it to me. There's a Southern Poverty Law Center hit piece against us at least once a week now, ADL every month or so. This is a group that's been convicted in California of infiltrating law enforcement, stealing files on people. It's basically a Mossad front group, and I really don't appreciate Israel attacking me and implying that I'm a terrorist and implying that I'm going to stage terror attacks and implying that I'm calling for violence. And we have the Southern Poverty Law Center doing that. We have the media doing that. We have Newsweek, Time Magazine, the London Guardian saying that I'm causing violence or calling for violence, and it's all a lie. Now, what they do in this report is they go to a bunch of different websites and message boards and find some mild things, some extreme things, and then attribute it to our rhetoric. I can go to Fox Nation. I can go to Yahoo message boards. I can go to any major message board, YouTube. You can go to YouTube right now and search comments calling for violence. They're everywhere. And this is an ongoing thing they do. You know, within 2 hours of Richard Poplawski killing 3 cops, it turned out he was a white supremacist who hated me, all over major Nazi websites. And he posted that he didn't like me on my website. But they lied within 2 hours of him being captured after he killed the cops and said that he did it because of me. They even had people on TV saying it. And the writer at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette who first put this out writes basically pieces weekly promoting ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center propaganda. And they have their people in every city. So the question is, why are they doing this? But this is a new level by the ADL. It calls for, quote, major law enforcement operation against us and others. And we had 2 weeks ago Fox News in articles they wrote at foxnews.com saying they called Homeland Security on us. That they called Homeland Security on us because of mildly threatening comments on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Then we went to Fox Nation and found things far more violent, and we found pundits calling on Fox Television for the death of Obama. But nothing was done there. So it's not just the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center. It's now Fox News doing this. Question is, why are they coming after us? Because we're identifying the banking takeover that is taking place right now. Paul Joseph Watson, let's go through your excellent article. ADL calls for major law enforcement operation to deal with Obamacare critics. A group mixes in completely nonviolent internet postings with death threats in new purge against internet dissent. Paul Watson.
Yeah, this is a new 20-page report put out recently by the ADL. And basically what it is, it mostly consists of just a list of comments that they've culled from a handful of websites, Infowars.com, the Prison Planet Forum, a couple of militia websites from Michigan and New Hampshire, and FoxNews.com as well. And the majority of it is a list of comments that they say requires the action of a, quote, major law enforcement operation against these people. And then you read the actual comments, and it's people expressing non-violent, peaceful dissent against things like Obamacare, amnesty, immigration, the threat to the Second Amendment, and new taxes. Basically, any criticism of Obama, any criticism of big government, it's completely non-violent, and they say that that requires a national law enforcement operation against it.
Well, Watson, since over a year ago now with the Poplawski murder, I mean, we've known that we're the number one enemy. We're who they went after within 2 hours of him giving himself up, and it was all a lie. And saying that we're calling for killing IRS employees and saying that we're calling for killing cops. This is meant to be given to cops to go, let's get this guy, let's set him up. So they're clearly really trying to egg on or mind control police and others to come in and, I guess, plant pipe bombs on us, God knows what. This is very, very dangerous. And now they're just out in the open saying law enforcement operation against us. I don't have the time, the money, the energy, but I have had my lawyer in the past, you know, put the ADL on notice. I've got to do it again. And I don't know, this has gotten so dangerous, I may just have to sue them just for protection. Because once I'm behind bars, I won't be able to do it. Go ahead.
And don't forget that the infamous MIAC report, which listed constitutionalists, Ron Paul supporters, people who own guns, people who own gold, even people who fly U.S. flags, listed them alongside terrorists. That was created with the aid of information gleaned and provided by the ADL and the Southern Poverty Law Center.
That's right. So, this is public. So can we imagine in their secret intelligence reports, which they admit they're giving police, what they're telling them? I mean, if they're publicly lying and saying we're calling for violence, heaven knows what's going on secretly.
And what's amazing is one of the quotes listed is from our own forum moderator, whose very job it is to ban people who make violent comments. It's completely ironic. And on top of that, we had a story last year, I believe, where for 4 months the Southern Poverty Law Center had on its own website as one of the top comments one of its supporters saying that you, Alex Jones, should be executed for your political beliefs. It stayed up there for 4 months. I didn't see the ADL including that little comment.
And after we wrote an article, about it, they then removed it. Only after we wrote that article. Did you find that article that you wrote, or was it Steve? And did you link that in this new one?
Yeah, it's linked in there. And the other point is, of course, the other comments that they've stopped listing on all these hate group reports are those of Hal Turner, because it turned out that his death threats against federal officials were as a result of him being on the FBI payroll.
So they use a Fed. They use a Fed to demonize us.